Okay. So, yeah. In this lesson today, and in the last few weeks, we have got a pregnant lady. So I'm giving on options to sit and to lay. And so, yeah, I'm going to do what's right for you. So we always start with, in these practices, we scan the body. The biggest thing about this is we don't just do, we sense and feel. So we're going to start with the body scan. So lie yourself down or sit up, whichever is the most comfortable. Like I say, because of the pregnant lady, there's an option to sit up in this lesson. If you're sitting up, prop yourself up as much as you need to, get cushions, maybe do it on a chair. If you're lying on the floor, get as, maybe you might start with a cushion, you might be that you're going to let go of the cushion at the end of the lesson. So yeah, somatics, what is it? It's a word that comes from a Greek word meaning soma, which is linking the mind and the body together. And in our general lives, we do actions without really thinking of what we're doing, maybe the most optimal way of moving. And this is, these are lessons to try and understand how we move, understand the picture, picture the habits that we've picked up, picture the attention that we've picked up. Is it helpful? Is it creating barriers in the body? It's just trying to find ways of unpicking and letting go of it in creative movements. This first part of the lesson is linking the mind and the body together. So whichever way you arrange yourself, ask yourself why. Like I say, it could be that you've got to sit up, but I've not said to you do whatever you're doing in any particular way, giving you no other instruction other than to lie down or to sit up. So just, notice why you chose to go into that position. Is it a habitual way of sitting? Is it a habitual way of lying? Now we're just going to begin to unpick that. So just notice your pelvis. Picture what you sense as being your pelvis. And what do you recognise about it? Do you notice the weight of it? Do you notice the shape of it? Maybe there's a pain in the pelvis that you're aware of. Would you say that your pelvis is level on the floor? Do you feel heavier on one side? So from this grounding place that we've anchored our awareness, taking your awareness up the spine past the belly button, and then into the ribs, and then into the neck. We're just going to notice those beautiful contours in the spine. And those curves are there for a reason. They're there to shock absorb mainly. And the spine has different functions. So the lower down has more flexion, more extension in the middle, very, very little movement for twisting, but again more flexion. And then as you go up into the neck, you've got more movement in the neck. So the spine has different things. And as you move your focus then out to the shoulders, sense and feel the shoulders, the rawness of the collarbones, down into the arms, the elbows, the wrists, the hands. Just noticing how you've arranged the arms. And sensing and feeling the legs from the joints of the hips, through the knees, and all the way down to your feet. So if you could magically levitate off the floor now and look back down onto the floor, what would you see? What kind of imprint would be left on the floor? Would you notice that you're not actually symmetrical? Just notice as well the energy that flows through the body. So within yoga theories, the idea that this body that you're in isn't just this one thing. You've got the physical side of it, you've got the energetic side of it, which incorporates your moods, your emotions, as well as how lively you feel. And you have your mind body, so all the thoughts. And then you've got your knowledge body. And you've got your bliss body, this really, really deep inner place where when we've got to let go of all the thoughts within our body and our attachment to the bodies, you can feel at one. And like you just want to be nowhere else other than present to yourself. Just noticing your energy that flows through the body and how you sense and feel it through the body. Noticing your emotions as well. Hopefully we're going to change our mindset through our practice today. So, let's begin our movement practice, shall we? So wherever you are, we're just going to mobilise the joints of the feet, so just make you wiggle your toes and scrunch them. I never really do this in these lessons, do I? And then we can circle the ankles as well. I'm doing it, you can't tell. And then circling your hands as well. I'm thinking actually it's a really nice pandiculation band. Okay, so let go of that, and if you're lying down, bring your feet in towards your hips, and if you're sitting up, you're gonna you can have your legs crossed, or you can have your feet in front of you, and we're going to move into our arching flatten. So I'm going to just move in a little. I might even move like that. Oh, that's one for me, isn't it? This is when you see my cobwebs under my furniture. Oh, where are we? So yeah, if you're sitting up, so you've got your feet crossed in front of you, or if you like, or you've got your legs somewhere comfortable, I want you just to feel your pelvis. And if you're lying down, again, sense and feel your pelvis. You've got your heels on the floor, you've got your arms just resting down by your side. And if you can just picture down at the very base of your tailbone. And all I want you to do now is begin to roll it towards the floor in front of you. And just notice how your lower back rises. And then just let that movement go for a second. Just let everything settle. And then again, rolling your tailbone forward. And then just let everything go and settle. And I am very guilty of doing this energetically, like really pressing it forwards. Just start gently to start with. Just start it gently. And then just let it go. And if you're sitting, the method for doing this is to bring you to tuck your tailbone away from you behind you, feel your belly come forwards, and again just let it go. And again just letting the tailbone move out behind you, feeling the belly come forwards, and again just let it go. So again, just being gentle movement to start with. And maybe even ask yourself, if you're using too much effort to do this, can you do it easier? Is there an easier way of doing this? Well, it depends on where you're feeling. If you think about this as bones, feeling your bones becoming heavier, and as you're tipping forward, you can feel the reason that your spine is moving is your pelvis is moving, and you can sense it either as, depending on how you're feeling, that if you're on the floor, you're going to feel it's like your spine is being pulled down through the body, and you can feel your chin tuck in towards you. If you're sitting up, you're not going to feel it quite in that same way. But all you're going to feel is that your balance. If you're sitting up, it's like your head is trying to stay balanced, so your spine is kind of trying to counteract the movement of the pelvis. So feeling your spine just moving from within you because you're moving your pelvis. But then muscularly what you're feeling, in order for you to tilt your pelvis, you're tightening the muscle of the back. And then every time you're relaxing, you're releasing those muscles of the back. So sense and feel what the muscles are doing. Feeling that tightening, that engaging, and that sense of just smoothing out and letting go. And as you're doing this, noticing whether or not you're doing this as an even movement. Are you tilting to the right, or are you tilting to the left, or are you moving down the centre? So let's bring some more effort into the middle of the body this time. So rather than just letting go, I want you to actively tighten the tummy, draw the navel back towards the spine, and that is going to flatten your back. And then let go of that. So coming back to neutral, exhale, pull the navel back towards the spine and feel how the back flattens. And again, inhale, just let go of it. Exhaling, tightening those muscles the back. Those muscles the back, releasing with the muscles the front tighten. And again, let it go. Exhale, tighten the muscles of the tummy, feeling how the back flattens. And again, inhale, let it go. So if you're sitting, again, you're going to experience that as a separate thing. You're going to feel your tailbone dropping into the floor and that lower back rounding. What we're doing is we're tapping into tension patterns that we hold in the body. So just for a second, I'd like you just to pause, and we're going to just focus on our green light reflex, that is the muscles at the back of the body. So we're going to just tip our tailbone into the floor, or if you're sitting, you're going to be rolling it backwards and letting your lower back come forwards away from the floor, or your belly's going to come forwards. We're tightening these muscles at the back. This is your green light reflex. A lot of people spend a lot of time in this position, taking on the world, and then they say that the back hurts, because it is, these muscles are being used. We're going to just take an exhale and release, and then we're going to pull the navel into the spine and feel how that back rounds a little bit, but how these muscles, the front of the body, are tightened. This is the red light reflex. And if you're laying on the floor, you might even feel your shoulders just kind of lifting up a little off the floor. We're going to roll the tailbone forwards again into the floor and feel the muscles, the back tighten. And then as we exhale, we're going to let these muscles, the tummy, tighten. And as we inhale, we're going to roll the tailbone forwards. And as we exhale, we're going to flatten the back. So we're going into arch and flatten now. So we're going to feel the spine arching, we're going to feel the spine flattening. And if you're lying on the floor, you might even feel the ribs and the pelvis coming close to the front. You might feel the ribs and the pelvis widening at the front, depending on the movement. So just sense and feel the relationship between the muscles at the front and the ribs and the pelvis. And you can sit in and sense and feeling how those ribs come closer to the pelvis. Now the heart comes forward, creating that space down the front of the body. And then let's settle. Just allow yourself just to settle somewhere in the middle. And then let's extend our legs out in front of us if we're all lying down. And again, just checking in on how we feel our body meets the floor. Is it adapting? Is it letting go of these little tension patterns that we hold? So the next movement we're going to do is one that again can be done sitting or laying, and it looks at trauma reflex, which is one that I've got. It sounds like I've had a traumatic life, but it's just from an accident that I got, that I had. And so if you've had, I was got run over on hit on one side and the muscles tightened and never really forgot all about it. So we're going to look at that next. So if you're sitting, again, have your feet somewhere comfortable. Again, you might be sitting on a chair. And again, if you're laying down, lay exactly where you are. But we're going to focus on the muscles of the side body. So I'm going to demonstrate this sitting up just to start with. So I just want you just to picture that just to the left of your belly button, you've got a group of muscles that run down the belly, but also down the back. So it depends where you're going to feel this as a sensation. And the ones on the front of the belly, actually, their action is to lift the legs up and stabilise the spine. The ones at the back of the body, their action is to bring us to one side, to lean us to one side. And this is hopefully what you're going to start to feel working in this way in this lesson. So picturing the muscles on that left side, really close into the spine, under the ribs and into the pelvis. And I'd like you just to imagine you could just isolate them. And as you squeeze those muscles in, you can feel your left ribs creeping towards your pelvis. And maybe even your left pelvis creeping up towards your armpit. And then just let go of it. So if you're sitting, I think you feel it more in the ribs coming close. But if you're lying down, you might feel your pelvis coming up towards your armpit. So let's try that again. I want you to, on your inhale, feel that you could squeeze these muscles in on the left side, shortening that side. You can feel your ribs coming down towards your pelvis. Maybe your pelvis is going to come up towards your armpit. And then just let go of that action. Just do it a few times. So I'm just going to lay down on the floor on this one again, and so we can sense and feel. So feeling those muscles. If you're doing it on the floor, you might feel your left knee begin to bend a little bit. And then again, just let go of that action. And again, feeling those muscles tightening on the left, feeling the pelvis creeping up, feeling the ribs drawing towards the pelvis. You might even notice, if you're lying down in particular, that you're going to want to maybe look towards your left shoulder. Let go and come back to centre. And doing it again. Maybe let your left knee bend. And again, exhale. Just come away from that action. Just let go of it for a second. And we're going to do now the same on that right side. So again, if you're sitting, feel that you could just isolate these muscles on that right side. And as you're sitting, you're going to feel the ribs creeping towards the pelvis. And if you're lying, you might feel the knee begin to move, the knee beginning to bend, the pelvis creeping up towards the armpit, the left side beginning to lengthen. And then exhale, slowly let go, but just feel that you can melt away from that movement and just doing it again. And again, slowly letting go of that movement and doing it again. And slowly letting go of that movement. What we're doing here is we're pandiculating, we're tightening muscles and we're releasing muscles, really getting a good grip of the muscles that we've got in the body that we've forgotten about. So just settle in the centre and for a moment just sense and feel the body resting into the floor and notice how your pelvis sits, whether or not it feels more level, more balanced, more heavy. And again, depends on how you are in this one. If you're sitting, again, you're going to maybe just feel that it's swaying from side to side. But if you're lying down, we could maybe take this into a bit of a walking pattern. In fact, if you're sitting, have your legs in front of you and have your hands behind you. And we're going to just again start with that action. So again, feel that you can squeeze these muscles in on the left. And then as you exhale, release it. And then again, squeezing these muscles in on the right. Feel the pelvis drawing towards the ribs towards the pelvis. And again, slowly let go. And then again, doing the same on the left. Squeezing in and slowly letting go. And then on the right, squeezing in and slowly letting go. So if you're doing this as a sitting thing, you're going to feel the hip picking up and the knee rolling in. You can almost imagine that you could walk. And if you're laying on the floor, I really do like this. You can actually just picture that bottom of the mat, you've got a little platform. And as you squeeze the muscle in, let the knee bend and just let the heel slide in a little. And then as you exhale, relax the leg away. And then squeezing the opposite hip in, muscles in. Feel that hip going up towards the armpit, knee begins to bend. And then exhale, relaxing. Just notice that your feet are kind of walking very gently. The end of the mat. Heels are sliding. And then let go. Just let everything settle in the centre. Tuning into what we feel and sense has changed. So again, the next thing can be done seated or in recline. So we're going to bring feet together this time. So from, if you're laying down, slide the feet together, pull the heels in towards your groin. And if you're laying on the floor, oh no, you're laying on the floor, if you're sitting, you're doing the same thing. So yeah, heels together, knees wide, or supported with your hands, whichever. And we're going to come back to our very first movement, which is our arch and flatten. So it's that pelvic movement. So again, I'll just demonstrate this laying down to start with. So we're going to roll the pelvis forwards and into the floor. So let your tailbone become heavy, feel how your lower back rounds off the floor. And then we're going to flatten the back, press the very top of your pelvis into the floor. And then again, roll and lean your tailbone forwards. And again, exhaling, feeling how the back flattens into the floor. And again, inhaling, rolling the tailbone forwards. And exhaling, flatten the back into the floor. And if you're doing this seated, again, you're just going to feel your lower back rounding and releasing. And again, you can feel the pelvis coming forwards. If you're sitting, you've got a really good sense that your groin is creeping closer to your heels. Different sensation. I want to take your awareness away from your feet now, from your pelvis now, and into your feet. And so let's pause for a second and just bring the soles of feet like properly together this time. So see if you can knit the big toes together and the little toes together. So really pressing the feet together. And now bring your awareness to your little toe side of your foot, and I want you to press into those little toe side of your feet. Your big toes are going to come away from each other as you push into the little toe side of your feet. Do you feel your knees dropping towards the floor a little? And then pressing the big toe side of your feet together. Do you feel your knees coming towards each other a little bit, lifting up? And then as you push into the little toe side of your feet, do you feel those knees are going back towards the floor? Then as you push into the big toe side of your feet, you feel your knees coming together. So I'm doing this sitting, just so, but so starting to get a little bit of a butterfly effect going on with the knees and the hips. I'm getting a little blanket there. And as you're doing this as well, do you feel this movement in your pelvis? So as you press into the little toe side of your feet, your pelvis rolls forwards again like it did before. And as you push into the big toe side of your feet, the lower back flattens. So these feet are really, really intelligent. They are moving everything above it. Through the joints of the knees, through the hips, into the pelvis, into the spine, all the way to the head. Again, it can be felt as you're sitting. So let go of that sensation, extending your legs out in front of you, just let your knees relax, and again, check in on your pelvis. Check in on how your body is settling into the floor. So there's one extra action for that seat, for that little movement, but it's difficult to be felt as if you're sitting. So I will teach it for people that are lying down, and for sitting, if you just come back to that same part of the feet, it's just that it involves the shoulders. In fact, what you could do is sit comfortably and just do the shoulders separately, and then if you can bring it together, then wonderful. But if you can't, maybe do one and not the other. So what we've got now is our arms. Our arms are on the floor, aren't they? Just turn the palms up. So if you're sitting, you should have your hands just away from the body with the palms facing outwards. And what we're going to do now is so you've got the backs of the hands on the floor. I want you to roll over your little finger so you've got the palm resting into the floor. So if you're sitting, you flip the palm the other way and turn the palm back, and then turn the palm back the other way. Keep the hands, if you're on the floor, keep your hands on the floor, so be tempted not to pick it up and flip it. So you want to feel that you're rolling the palms and that you're rolling. You can feel that you've got two bones in your lower arm that you can feel them flipping over, and it's going to the upper arm, to the humerus, and you can feel the shoulder rolling. And as you turn the palm back out, you can feel the shoulder rolling back. So from the floor, you feel the shoulder pick itself up off the floor, and again you'll feel it rolling back, settling to the floor. But you can roll that hand over again, can't you? So start in your starting position with the palm turned outwards, so towards the ceiling, and flip it over, and then see if you can flip it over again. So roll it one more time. So you're trying to show your palms, roll your palms forwards again. Shoulders are going to pick themselves up, and you're going to feel even your chin tilt back. And then uncurl, relax those arms, let them roll back to where you started. And then again, turn the palms down, flip them over again, feel the shoulders pick up. Notice how your chin tilts and your head feels tension. And then again, uncurl and relax. Again, as you're sitting, roll those shoulders forwards again. You can feel that tension in the shoulders. A lot of us carry our heads forwards. And again, just allow that to melt away. So, from things like sitting a lot at computers, driving cars, a lot of the actions we do ask us to have our arms forward. So you might feel some familiarity in this. Shoulders roll forwards, tension in the neck. And again, just let it roll back out away from you. So turn the palms down, rolling over. And again, let it unwind, let the shoulders roll back. And as you're lying down, you might even feel this in your lower back. So I want you to notice in your lower back. And as you're sitting as well, you can feel it, but just not as greatly. As you roll those palms towards the floor and back again, do you feel your lower back round a little bit and your ribs creep closer towards your pelvis? So creating a tension pattern down the front of the body. And then exhale, slowly unwind and just let the palms relax and the back of the chest, the back of the neck lengthen. And do you feel the front of the body lengthen out a little tiny bit? So again, rolling, feeling, do you feel that tightening through the front? And again, as you unwind, you feel that releasing through the front. So it's just a little tension, a little pull, rolling those palms. You can feel that lower back begin to drop into the floor, your chin tilt back. And again, unwinding, feeling how we let go of that. Do you feel it? Just relax for a second. Just check in on your shoulders and your rib cage and how it feels to have them on the floor. And then we're going to bring these feet back to our little position with the feet together in front of us and the big toes together and the little toes together. And we're going to see if we can unite this entire movement. So pressing into the big toes, pressing into the inside edges of the foot and let your lower back round and flatten. At the same time, again, with our palms up, we're going to roll those palms in towards the floor and over again, feeling how we have tightened that front of the body, the chin's tilted back, the head's carrying forwards. And then exhale, unwind, let the palms float away, roll tailbone towards the floor this time, open up the heart. And then inhale, rolling the palms, flattening the back. Exhale, roll the tailbone forwards, roll the palms away. This is called the flower. So it's like you're closing up the bud of the flower. As you roll the tailbone away, let the arms float back, shoulders floating back. And again, tucking the tailbone under, run the palms. Again, try to flip those palms all the way forwards again, tightening, shoulders come forwards. And again, as we exhale, roll the tailbone away, let the palm open and the heart open. Just one more time, tightening and closing the flower. So we're arching there, flattening the back, tailbone tucks under, palms have rolled, and then again, finally exhale and unwind. And just let your legs come out in front of you and allow yourself again just to rest in whichever way is most comfortable. So coming into Shavasana or again resting into your hands. And again checking in on the body. How do we feel it? It's a really powerful movement is that one for your pelvis, for your middle, for your shoulders, for your rib cage. We feel that the hips feel maybe a little bit more balanced. Do we sense that we can feel the weight of our shoulders and ribs a little bit more clearly on the floor? Do you think that we've actually got a little bit more of a heavy head? The back of the neck almost feels a little longer and we can bring that chin in a little more happily. But the big thing about doing these movements is what you can feel in your belly. Can we breathe better? So from this place, let's take ourselves to seated. Although I know one of you already have been sitting forever. Are you getting on all right with this? I keep nosing that you all look okay. So what we're doing, I've forgotten, no I've not. Don't do that class. I've got like all my lessons on one sheet and I'm looking there thinking, chair, no that's not this lesson. We are doing a little city thing. So take your legs out in front of you and then you're going to, this is my right side, bring them across to the right. So if you need cushioning, like if your knees disagree with this, you could maybe have one leg straight and not worry about it. You could play Jenga with cushions, get them underneath your knees. Oh, I've got cushions, get me, put that underneath, maybe make it comfortable. So you don't want to be going into pain just to get, just to fulfill the obligations of a lesson. So make yourself nice and comfy. So your left hand, have it on the floor, just behind you slightly, and I like fingertips. I don't like dropping into hands, so I want fingertips. And then this is your right hand, and have it nice and loose, your elbow. I want you to bring the hand up in front of you, and then just picture you've got like something beautiful, like a little bluebird or a ladybird, something amazing. It's resting on your middle finger, on your pointing finger of your right hand. And so what we're going to try and do is keep this hand in front of your chest at all times. So what I don't want you to do is to move the arm and the chest to stay, or to turn the chest and keep the arm. So you've got this connection between arm and hand. So firstly, in fact, just drop the hand, and I want you just to turn your body and look over your left shoulder. And as you do that, let your right pelvis, because you've obviously got two pelvises, but your right side of your pelvis pick up and look over. Notice what you can see, notice what you are sensing. I'm noticing I need to paint my wall again, and then I'm going to come back and take a seat. So then I'm going to bring this hand up, and I've got this beautiful little, for some reason, I've got like a cartoon bluebird on my finger. Elbows nice and loose. So I'm starting to turn, and I'm letting the hand stay in front of my chest. And then where I feel like I need to stop, I'm going to stop, and I'm going to come all the way back. Keeping head, hand in front of heart, gazing at the finger, turning the chest, feeling where I want to stop. I'm not pushing. Again, this is not about getting the deepest rotation in the body at all. And what am I feeling? I'm feeling into the pelvis first. So I just want you to bring your awareness into your left knee as you turn the body, feeling that left knee is moving across to the right. The pelvis kind of turns itself around the hip joint. 'Cause And then just even noticing into the right hip joint. Notice that as you turn to the left, that your right thigh is being drawn back. So get beautiful pandiculation into your right hip flexors. Then let's just add something else into this. We're going to now just place the hand over onto the left shoulder. So just keeping your gaze forward. Imagine you've still got that little bluebird. It's now just hovering in front of you, and you're going to turn the chest. So just keep your gaze kind of neutral to the centre of your chest. And then at the end, turn your head and look over the left shoulder. And then when you're there, look up to the ceiling and then look down. Look up to the ceiling and look down. And then bring your gaze back. And again, turn your head back to neutral and come back. So again, just picturing that your nose is in line with the centre of your chest. So again, turn first and then look over the shoulder. Continue that movement into your neck. And then again, let's take a seat back. So we're going to now turn the chest to the left and we're going to try to look at our right shoulder. So in fact, just stare at your laptop, don't move your head. So keep staring at your laptop. So if you turn your chest, keep staring. I'm staring at you guys. Oh, you've gone the wrong way. You're going to turn towards your yellow bag. The other way. So turn towards the other way. That's it. And then turn your head to look towards me. That's it. There you go. And then turn yourself back. Keep looking. That's it. So turning your left shoulder behind you, and then you're looking over your front shoulder. And again, turn yourself back. This is called the lighthouse. This movement. And then take yourself back to centre. So again, we're going to go over to the left. So it's really difficult to teach something when you've got to turn away. So I'll show you first. So I've got this is the right hand on my left shoulder. I'm going to turn my body all the way to the left, looking over, and then I'm dropping my chin onto my wrist, and I'm still turned as I do this. I'm then going to lift my elbow up, and that is lifting my chin. And then I'm keeping in the twist and dropping the elbow down and looking to the floor. And I'm going to do that again. I'm lifting the elbow up, and then I'm going to drop it down. I'm only doing it 3 times, and then we're going to come back to the front. So I've turned away. I have no idea if you're doing that now. So let's start just as one more little round. So we're going to turn to the left. So turn the entire chest, head round as well. Let me just turn around so I can see your hat. That's what I'll do. Okay. So then you're going to drop your chin down onto your wrist, and then lift your elbow up. Lift your elbow, and that's going to bring your chin back. That's it. Notice your heart comes forwards. Notice that you've rounded your back, and then elbow comes back down to your chest, and this is going to bring you back down. And you're actually rounding your back a little bit. Your ribs have come closer to pelvis. Again, lift the chin. Lift the elbow. Let the heart come forward. And then again, exhale, bring yourself back down. Just one more time. Elbow lifts. Notice how as you lift more, lift your elbow, the more your pelvis tips back. Forward, I should say. And then exhale, bring it back down. And then we're going to turn again back to the front of the mat. So let's look over that left shoulder again as we started. So turn your gaze, look around, and just notice what you can see. Do you feel that you've got a little bit more range of movement behind you? You can see more clearly behind you on that left shoulder. And again, just come back and then just enjoy the movement, the twist. Do you feel that it's just a happier twist than it was when you first started? Less aches and creaks and so on and so forth. So as an actual movement, is it a clearer and more comfortable movement? So we're just going to swing our legs back forwards and then to the opposite side. So these feet are over my left. So I'm resting to my right thigh. This is my right hand and it is just behind me. And yeah, we're going to turn first. So starting just to let your chest come around to the right, let your right hand sweep back, look over your right shoulder. Notice what you feel and what you can see. Oh, I've got a pile of stuff that needs sorting on that table. How it feels as well is important, and then come back. And then again, this is your left hand, flop your wrist, elbows nice and loose, and you've got whatever it is. I've got that cartoon bluebird. I think I've watched too many Tom and Jerry type things on this pointy finger. And again, I want to keep the finger in line with my heart to start with. So gazing at the finger, turning the chest. And again, I don't need to bring the hand back and to let the elbow move. So when you feel that you can't move, come back. So again, we're not pushing into pain. And again, slowly turn the chest. Keep the gaze on the finger. And again, coming back. And then again, noticing what you're feeling in your right thigh. So as you're coming around to the right, that knee is moving to the left as the pelvis moves around the joint. And then as you bring your awareness into your left knee is going on a journey again as that pelvis moves around the joint. The left knee is pushing back again. Beautiful release into that left hip flexor. So let's just again now place your left hand over onto your right shoulder. I get confused when I'm doing twists. So I need a big L tattooed on my hand and an R. So there you go. So we're going to do exactly the same thing, but this time look over the shoulders. So start again to bring your right shoulder. You're going to bring your chest around to the right. So turning. That's it. Look over the shoulder as well. So take your gaze behind you. Look all the way. And even lift your gaze. Look up to the ceiling. Or we've got a spider. Take your chin down. Look to the floor. And then turn your gaze back to the front. And we'll just do that again. So slowly turn the chest. Feeling the heart come around. You can actually notice the order of movement. The chest, hip, maybe neck last. And then to come back, notice your hip, your belly, your chest and your head. The order of movements is really nice to sense. So again, where do you start it? I feel that I start this in my right shoulder. I feel the chest begin to move, then I feel the belly, then I feel the hip, and then I feel my neck. But unwinding, I feel my left hip, I feel the chest, and I feel the neck last. We're going to pause next. So again, we're turning the same way, but we're going to look to the left shoulder. So maybe keep your gaze forward. So starting to turn your chest. That's it. Keep your gaze forward, looking towards your left shoulder. So look over your shoulder. I always think if you look really snooty at this point, like, and then turn yourself back to the front. And turn your chest. Beautiful, everybody. Really nice. And again, turning yourself back. Turning your chest. And again, turning back. So we're going to turn the chest again to the right. I'm just going to spin around so I can keep an eye on you as you're doing this. So turning your chest to the right. And then this time, drop your chin down onto your left wrist. Elbow drops onto chest. And again, we've got a really clever elbow. It's going to move the head. So lift the elbow up, lift it up, feel your head beginning to tip back. Notice how the more you lift your elbow, the ribs come forwards, the pelvis tilts. And as you bring your elbow softly down onto your chest, your pelvis comes back to neutral. It even tucks under and we're rounding just a little bit in the back. And again, as we lift the chin, the elbow up, again, we feel the spine, arch and ribs come forward. Again, as we bring the elbow back down, tailbone tucks under, lower back rounds. Again, just maybe do that one more time. More sensation, more feeling on this next one. Lift the elbow. Exhale. And then settle back. So again, just taking your gaze around you, notice how far behind you can see. And again, just enjoy the movement this time. How does it feel as a movement? So it's not sometimes about the destination, it's also, to me, it's about what's changed actually physically in the body, the restrictions. Do you feel this is just a happier movement? And then let's take ourselves to seated, if you think to this. Really? I've written that down. I don't even think that. Where the heck? Oh yeah, it is in that one. So I'm looking at my notes, thinking I've just completely wasn't even going to teach that today. Right. So I would just like to do one more settee posture, and it's a little leg release one. This one. You can have one leg bent if you prefer, or you can have both legs. In fact, let's have both legs straight. It might be easier. And if you want to sit on a cushion, if that's comfier, now I've moved downstairs, I realise that wooden floors are really horrid. So I put a cushion under my bottom just so it's a little bit nicer. Oh, that is nice. And yeah, I'm going to look at legs. Actually, I'm going to come off the cushion, I feel a bit high. So looking at legs. So I want you to look at your, yeah, that is your right leg, isn't it? Your right leg. And place your left hand over on your right knee. And all we're going to do firstly is see if we can touch our right foot. So I want you to go towards your right foot. Notice how it feels. You might not get your right foot, it doesn't matter. You might have got really, really, really long legs. We watched Big Fish recently and there was a giant, he would never touch his legs. And then come back. But I just want you to notice how that felt as a movement. Notice how far you got. Anyway, here's your right hand. It's going to just go onto the floor by your right hip. And then your left hand, place it on your right thigh. And now imagine you've got a really beautiful pet and you love it to death and you're just going to stroke it till it goes bald. That'd be cool. Leave some hair on it. So you're just going to start, really gently start to stroke your left hand down towards your right foot. And then slowly slide the hand back up towards your thigh. So your hand is being guided. So like you stroke a pet, you don't move the shoulder, do you? You're just using your hand to stroke this. I'm sure you've met a dog that's got the softest ears you've ever touched, and you're just sliding your hand along that dog's head and you're feeling the fur and sliding your hand back up. I hope you're not scared of dogs. If it could be a rabbit, it could be anything, slide it down and again back up. So if you're moving from the hands, your hand's attached to your elbow. So as you bring that hand forward, notice your elbow, notice then your shoulder. Notice as you bring that hand towards the foot that your ribs are kind of turning a little bit to the right. See, I'm not obsessed with dogs, so it's a method in my madness. And then as you slide your hand back up, your chest is turning back towards the front. So again, be guided by the hand. Notice that you're turning a little bit. So you've got your legs, notice what your left leg is doing next. As you turn, can you maybe let your left foot roll inwards? You can't see my feet, there you go. So as you bring this foot across, let your left foot roll inwards a little bit. And your left hip might even lift. And then as you come back, let your left hip land and your left foot come back to the ground. And again, as you slide the foot, let the ankle roll as well. Maybe the next time you take your right hand down towards your right foot and you notice that you've turned, look over your right shoulder. And then unwind, come back to centre. So again, let your left hand slide down. Notice your chest is turned. Again, look over your right shoulder. Again, come back. And just one more time as you turn the body to the right, as you slide your hand. Notice how you feel down the left side, all the way under your left ribs and lengthening. And you come back to centre. And then from here, what we're going to do is move and just see if we can touch our feet again. So come down towards the feet again. Notice how you do this. Are you in a different place? Does it feel like a happier movement? So come back to centre and just rest for a moment. Close your eyes and notice your left side. Notice the shoulders. Notice the ribs. Notice the hips. So looking this time towards your left foot. You know what the magic is now, don't you? Try to touch your left foot. How does it feel? Are you reaching? Hamstrings, hips. How does it feel? And then walk yourself back up. Let your left hand again just touch the ground by your left hip. And dropping your right hand onto your left thigh. And again, just imagine you've got that beautiful animal, you want to stroke it to death, not to death, a lot. And so slide the palm down the shin towards the ankle. And again, slide it back. So again, you're guided by the sensations of the palm, sliding the hand down and back again. And notice as you're turning, as you're doing that elbow, shoulder, notice that you're actually turning your chest a little bit to the left. And as you come back, everything turns back to the front. So again, let go of anything other than that his hand is actually attached to a rib cage. You just notice what the rib cage is doing at any given time. Slow the movement down. Notice at any given point where, the order of movement again. It might even be that already now you can notice that you can reach beyond where you started. Maybe starting to look now over your left shoulder as you come down. And again, noticing what your right foot is doing. Is it rolling in a little bit? So be led by the right hand, the elbow, the shoulder, looking over the left side. And then maybe the next time you move over, just rest there. Notice where your hand moves to. And then come back to seated. And again, just see how it feels to come down towards your left leg. How does it feel? Does it feel a little bit easier? So from this place, let's come to our resting position. So lying down, taking a seat. If you're lying down on one side, maybe if that is going to be more comfortable. If you're pregnant, I know one of you is pregnant, so lying on whatever side is best for you. And settling into the floor. Again, with eyes closed, and drawing your awareness into the physical body. So again, we mapped our body at the beginning of the lesson. Again, we always like to come back to these at the end of the lesson, just so we can see if there's been any adaptations, anything that's been untangled and let go of. Again, starting all the way down at the tailbone and the pelvis. Just feeling its weight yielding into the floor. And does it feel level? Does it feel more balanced? And then picturing the spine just above it, behind the belly button, through the ribs and into the neck. And just noticing the gaps behind the back, behind the neck, behind the lower back. Do they feel any different? Do they feel more pronounced? Do they feel softer? And through the shoulders, sensing the shoulder blades, the borders of the collarbones, the arms, the elbows, the hands and the fingers. And through the thigh bones and the thighs. How do we sense and feel the thighs? And the gaps behind the knees. And how the feet rest into the floor. How do we feel the body is resting into the floor? And just picturing now that you could breathe in through the sole of the right foot. And that breath is going to travel up to the knee, to the hip, along the length of the spine, to the right shoulder, to the right elbow, and through the fingers of the right hand. And then you can breathe in through the fingertips of the right hand, past the elbow and the shoulder and the heart and the hip and the knee and the ankle and the toes of the right foot. And then just picturing that again, breathing in through the right foot, the knee, the hip, the spine, the shoulder, the elbow and the wrist, and out through the right hand. And breathing in through the right hand, elbow, the shoulder, the spine, the hip, the knee and the foot. And just in your own mind, just picturing that sensation. Maybe it's a ball of light you're visualizing. Maybe you can even picture the wind. And just picturing we could do breath simultaneously, in through the right foot and the hand at the same time. And that breath, that current, whatever it is you see, crisscrosses over the spine and it just again migrates out through the opposite limb. So as you're breathing in through the foot, you're going to breathe out through the hand, and as you breathe in through the hand, you're going to breathe out through the foot, and you're just watching that motion. Right side. And then just let go of that imagery and just sense and feel the right side, even into the skin of the cheeks, into the right shoulder, the right hip. Sense and feel the energy and the tingling that you might be feeling. And then drift your focus to the left side. And again, just picture you could breathe in through the left foot, through the knee, the hip, the spine, the shoulder, the elbow, and out through the fingertips of the left hand. And then you can breathe in through the fingertips of the left hand, past the wrist, the elbow, the shoulder, the spine, the hip, the knee, the ankle, the foot. And just picture again the repetition of breathing in through the left foot. And out through the left hand. And in through the left hand. And out through the left foot. In your own time, your own rhythm. So the next time we breathe in through the left foot, the hand breathes in too. And that energy just travels up again past the knee and the elbow, the shoulder and the hip, along the spine. And again, you're going to breathe out through the opposite limb. So in through the hand, out through the foot, in through the foot, out through the hand. And just see that crisscross of energy, maybe the spine, wherever it meets. Again, just let this imagery just begin to melt away. Just picturing, sensing, feeling everything on the left side of the body. even the cheek, the waistline, the hip, the shoulder. And as you breathe in next, just imagine you could breathe in through the toes and the hands simultaneously into the centre of the body. And as you breathe out, it's almost like a pulsation of breath radiating softly outwards. Inwardly, again, gathering all the energy to the centre of the body. So again, without effort, just a breath. And as you breathe out, again, gently releasing through fingers and toes. And then just let your breath be natural. Just for a moment, notice again the skin that you're inhabiting, the bones, the body that you're inhabiting. And we'll start to bring ourselves over to your favourite side, unless you're sitting already, and to seated. Namaste. Thank you so much. I'm going to stop the recording. That's one.